Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks live Sunday morning news show. I'm Dilek for Prez. I'm joined by Sam, I.B. Deganji, Sam of the Correct Views, and the band passing time, Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls, and welcome to the Sunday edition. We're here.
Samuel, our first show of October.
It is. I'm going to be talking about the legend of Bear Creek, the haunted house that I'm working with here in Canton, Ohio, for the entertainment section.
Okay. Well, people in my neighborhood are actually already putting up. What is this? Not responding. Samuel,
Well, you already have people in your neighborhood that are celebrating Halloween. You have Black Lives Matter, pretending to be activists.
Yeah. Sam, I heard that, but can you hear me? Do you see me? Because everything's freezing up over here.
I can't see you. It's as black as deepest of space, but I can hear you.
Oh, no. Well, October comes with the October surprise. Isn't that right?
I'm sure it does. I'm sure Hillary's got planning something. That'll be interesting to see what it is. She's already tried the tax thing, and that's blown up in her face. Because let's remember, everyone, Trump may have stolen a couple million of his money, but Hillary Clinton has stolen billions of yours. There's a difference.
Okay. Here we go. Stupid computer. Sam, can you see that? WikiLeaks canceled highly anticipated Tuesday announcement due to security concerns. This is breaking news this morning. WikiLeaks has abruptly canceled a much anticipated announcement on Tuesday, according to NBC News. The announcement had been expected to be founder Julian Assange's long-promised document dump on Hillary Clinton. And Sam, have you been hearing that in the news? That's supposedly WikiLeaks is going to drop a major bombshell coming up. They were saying it would happen on Tuesday in London, London's Ecuadorian embassy in Ecuador there. NBC's Jesse Rodriguez reported that the Tuesday announcement, which was to come from the balcony of the embassy where Assange has sought sanctuary for years, was canceled. Canceled, Sam, due to security concerns.
That doesn't make any sense. All Julian Assange has to do is pick up the damn cell phone and call InfoWars or call Drudge. BS. I call BS.
Yeah, I mean, how do you document dump from a balcony? You just throw a box full of papers over the edge? I mean, just do it online.
Julian Assange is a good man, and I think he's probably one of the best people alive today. However, he's always got to have the camera in his face. He's all about the ego, and if he can't make it look like some great big presentation that makes him look all important, then he's too good to pick up the cell phone and call somebody. That's what I think. What kind of BS
he
is
could
that?
definitely be making a second. Sam, I hope this show isn't coming out skippy because everything is freezing up on my end. What else do you got, Sam? Can you take over for a second? Just go with it for a minute.
Certainly. Why would this be, friends? Think about it. Why is it that this man, I'm lighting incense because my cat just used the litter box. Why is it that we have this man who's got this important information that's supposed to be so vital for all of us? It's supposed to be absolutely, important that we know about Hillary Clinton. It makes me want to ask Julian Assange, hey, Julian, do you want us to know about Hillary Clinton? Or do you want us to know about you? Do you want us to see you doing, standing there with your, this is what I did, so that everybody knows that you did it? Or are you more concerned with trying to make sure that we as the people know what kind of mess Hillary Clinton is bringing us into? Security concerns my ass. You're in an embassy. You're trying to go out there and make sure everybody knows you did it. And they can't give you enough security to do that. So now you're thinking, well, then maybe I won't do it until I can make a bigger spectacle out of it. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous for a number of reasons. And it bothers me greatly that he is doing it this way. Just give the information. Quit screwing around. Give the information. Don't wait to make it all about you. That's just my take on it. Yeah, you back, D-Lake? Oh, things have gone from bad to worse for D-Lake. But I see that we're still live, so I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here greatly and go into this. This is Nestle. This is what I was going to get to a little bit later. How many of you enjoy a good Nestle? Most everyone does. Did we get cut? Nope, we did not get cut. We're good. We're live. I can't hear a delay, but we are in fact live. Nestle. We all like candy, right? I've covered on many instances. Whatever you do, don't eat Hershey's chocolate. And now that's been brought to us before by people like Helen Caldicott, who have said for years that the 3 Mile Island disaster had greatly damaged the quality of the food and milk and the soil, and everything that goes into Hershey's candies comes out of poisoned ground or through poisoned areas in Hershey, PA. And this isn't talking garbage against Hershey. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. It's brought to you by our friends in the nuclear industry. Look up 3 Mile Island if you don't know what I mean. Well, Nestle's trying to add themselves to the list of people that you're not going to want to buy chocolate from for an entirely different reason. Outrage. Nestle buys drought-stricken town's water supply. Now, we've covered ad nauseum that there is no global warming. Man is not warming the planet. No matter how many different ways you try to tell us that man is warming the planet, it only makes you more wrong than when you falsely said it before. It makes you sound more stupid than when you said it the first time. Here, in fact, is a major problem. Do you know how much water is stored under the earth? Do you know that some religions say that God had done that on purpose so that during times of drought it could be obtained and it could come up through the ground, even before we could drill it out? Mm-hmm. Well, listen to this. Calls have come from all over the world to boycott Nestle after the company bought a drought-stricken Canadian community's water supply. And more than 150,000 Facebook users have taken to social media sites to voice their outrage. Now, guys, look at the area here. And I'll tell you what's important about this, because they're doing it in California, too. Nestle has a reputation for doing this. We covered on the Correct Views, my show on YouTube.com. We've covered Nestle repeatedly doing this. Authorities in Center Wellington, a community in Ontario, scrambled over the summer to find a competing bid when it learned that Nestle had put in a bid of its own on the spring water in the region. The town's leaders wanted to safeguard a water supply for the township's fast-growing population of 30,000, which Kelly Linton, the mayor, is expected to grow by 50,000, that'll be in 2041. Now, we're talking about Nestle taking water away from a community that could have an effect that lasts all the way to 2041 here. They're not just taking a couple gallons, they're buying all of the water. Linton said that the municipality used a numbered company to submit an aggressive bid for the 5-hectare site. We put in more money than we did, and we all removed all conditions. He did not specify the dollar amount. Center Wellington had forged an agreement with Nestle 18 months earlier, giving the company the right to respond. Said Linton, they had the opportunity to match our offer, and that's how we lost on that one. As you can appreciate, we aren't going to be outbidding Nestle, a small town that we're using taxpayer dollars, so we have to be good stewards of that. So the town just superseded the wish and needs of its own people for Nestle. For Nestle. Listen.
They just can't afford to fight it.
No, and they're taking 3.6 million liters per day. Per day. If the water source meets the requirements, Nestle will seek a permit that will allow it to draw 300 gallons of water per minute. The group of local volunteers, the Wellington Water Watchers, plans to block Nestle's plants, said group member Mike Nagy. And they're fighting back. Why is there so much concern? Because in a Facebook post, the Wellington Water Watchers noted that Nestle's purchase of the site will lead to a drastic increase of plastic pollution due to the waste generated by plastic bottles. Now, that I'm not particularly concerned about. You can just recycle your damn bottle. But I'm more worried about that Nestle pays only $3.70 for every million liters. Do you know how much money they make from you? And they're paying $3.70 for every million liters. Million liters for $3.70. So the next time you're going to buy water, go ahead and remember Nestle, friends. Remember the kind of people they are. Remember what they do to communities. You're going to want to remember them like you do Hershey for health. Or you're going to want to remember Nestle just because they're vile, vile people. The company has a long history of putting profits over people, and he doesn't think water is a human right. That's the chairman of Barbec Ledmath, the CEO. He said that.
Sounds like a Bond villain.
Statement, the Nestle chairman, that water is not a right. It should be given at a market value or privatized. That particular has since been removed from YouTube, but you can find another version, the insanity, just after the 2-minute mark on the link that's on my screen share right now. And it said it gets worse, as California struggled with the worst drought in history. Nestle continued to extract 80 million gallons of water from the Sacramento aquifers every year. Just like Freiburg, the company sold it back to local residents in bottles. In 2014, residents of Freiburg, Maine discovered that Nestle had been pumping its aquifer and then selling the water back to the residents. The realization came after locals realized the streams were sinking, literally bringing down the water level. Friends, that's Nestle. That's the people that you're allowing to come into your communities and absolutely decimate it. And I thought that definitely needed to be gotten to. Have you noticed it there at all, D Lake, where you are?
The aquifers and the water? No.
That the water levels are actually falling in your freshwater communities where Nestle. How close are you to Sacramento?
Oh, that's way north. That's like 4 hours north.
Never mind.
North of me. But you know what's real close to me? El Cajon, where a black man was killed by police. They just released the video. Getting some echo there. Say about your headphones.
Yeah, I can.
Or go to mute there.
Had trouble getting on and didn't plug them in. There you go.
All right, yeah, that's much better. There was a police shooting that spurred protests in El Cajon. Still getting it, Sam. Turn off your speakers. Go to headphones.
I'm in headphones. You should be good.
Okay. So, police shooting, and I bought the paper, and you can see that people are protesting, and a bunch of police came out there, and a dude was attacked by a mob for wearing a Make America Great Donald Trump hat to the protest. I have some inside sources in touch with activists, and as predicted, it seems like there's a lot of people that aren't really from the area that are there. You know what I mean? It brings in a swarm of outside influence when these things happen, and the protests start right away. I mean, the day that the picture came out.
Can you go out there and interview some of them?
Started going
national next week. Can you go interview them or get us some footage for next week?
Yeah, it's kind of already starting to die down. I mean, this broke earlier this week. Papers from Thursday. It happened on like Monday, Tuesday. But it's very interesting. I used to live on Mollison. I used to live on the street where it happened. It happened on Mollison on Broadway.
Oh, next time you got to get out there with that camera.
Yeah. I don't have my camera right now, my friend.
No, neither do I. It's been a killer. Actually, side note for listeners that have followed what we do here, I had actually got my video of the idiot protester who was saying that Nazis were not socialists, even though they're obviously everything about their economic system was socialist, including their name. That idiot was going to be on my show, or on Infowars from my show, I should say, and my camera quality, unfortunately, was not good enough. So, I mean, iPhones would have done a better job, I guess. But yeah, I fill that plate. So, friends, you can donate to our show. That would help us greatly. What else do you got, D-Like?
Well, I could go to YouTube. Sam, what the hell? Everything I say is booming echo. You're like fucking the debate commissioner. Donald Trump's microphone. Totally screwed me up.
Let me try something. How's that?
Let me see. Now it's just longer before I hear my echo. I don't know if it's going to be like that, so it'll sound real stupid if no one else can hear it. Okay. How did you feel about Podium Gate and the debates on Monday, Sam? Did you watch the debates? How did you feel the candidates did? Did you hear or not hear? What were the things that you were?
No, I can't hear you. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. All right, say something,
Sam.
Yeah.
Did you? It's still sort of happening, but I'm just gonna barrel through it. Did you watch the debates on Monday?
Yes, I did. I actually streamed the entire thing, and I don't talk over it for those that want to watch it. I don't yak over it and talk over it. There are a few times that I make interjections when it has to be done, like when Hillary was trying to sell our country to the globalists. But for the most part, I leave my comments to before and after. But yes, D-Like, what was your takeaway?
Well, we're in the after, so what are some of your takeaways? Some of my takeaways was that the moderator and Hillary Clinton were teaming up, double teaming Donald Trump. And did you see the videos of her doing like little face touch signals, and then they go to her like? And did you see the podium gate? Like her podium is like lighting up with like electronics and lights and stuff. And like, what was that all about? Her custom podium.
Put some of that video up if you would like. Some of it I've seen, some of it I don't think I have. I will say this: I noticed, and a lot of this probably is going to make a lot of people happy, but Donald Trump came off like someone's grumpy grandfather. Now that doesn't bother me any. But that's going to bother a lot of America. Nobody wants to listen to their grandfather complain for an hour and a half. I mean,
he took a lot. He
kind of man down the street's a better analogy. Just a crappy, snappy person. That's what he came off as. And there's been times that I don't know. I was watching it, and I don't know. He won on the facts. But she was the one who seemed like a genuinely nice person, which is funny because I think he is and she isn't. But that bothered me personally. I don't think he won the debate, not because his facts weren't correct, but because you tend to block people out that are coming off that way, in my opinion.
I thought his first 30 minutes were really strong. I'm going to play this. You don't really need the sound because it's actually, more like you can just read it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let me play some of this for you, Sam, so you get the visual here. I'll try to make it as big as I can without going full screen because that doesn't work. But here we go. Oops, I'm clicking on the visual. Here we go. Donald Trump dominated the early part by all accounts. Lester Holt was the moderator. Seemed to have worked that they influenced him, the Clinton camp. Now, there's the first signal. She used the gesture 6 times on 6 different occasions to signal Lester Holt meaning that she wanted to get in a zinger and to go with her without changing the subject. The first signal to halt comes when Hillary wants to get her taxes zinger in. She's like, oh, he's talking about taxes. He's talking about taxes. He's talking about it. I'm listening. Here goes the signal. That means halt, go to me without changing the topic. Then 1 minute later, rather than changing the topic or ask a leading question, he just throws it to her so she can score points with a zinger. And then if you could hear it, you'd hear her zinging him.
Go ahead and turn it up.
No, it's just playing music. You can't hear what she's saying. Now this comes the second one is incoming. Trump is talking about something. She's like, okay. There it was. 30 seconds later, after she did the face touch again, he pushes back on the stop and frisk being unconstitutional. He was wrong about that.
We don't need stop and frisk. I'm against that. I'm sorry. That's a destruction of the Fourth Amendment. Trump is wrong.
Anyways, she starts getting frustrated. She did it like 6 times. And professional poker players are saying, yeah, she's totally signaling the dealer.
She might be. Maybe. I mean, if it happened over and over again, maybe. But Trump is wrong on that fourth. That's the only time, and I am voting for him. But that's I even got his sign in my front yard because my neighbor has a Clinton one's cropping up like an ugly mushroom in the yard. I get it, but he's wrong on that. The stop and frisk is a destruction of the Fourth Amendment, and it needs to go the way of the dinosaurs. Awful idea. He couldn't be more wrong. It was the one time that I was happy that Clinton smacked him down, only because I'm drastically against it. The trouble is, Hillary Clinton is going to violate the Fourth Amendment rights of all of us. So, I mean, she's not going to do she's just saying, let's not violate our rights based on the color of your skin. She's not saying, let's not violate everyone's rights. That's what she wants to do. She wants to violate the Fourth Amendment rights of everyone. The only person really running worth voting for.
She's not racist because she hates everybody, right? She hates everybody equally, so she can't be a racist.
She'll violate everyone's rights. That's exactly what she'll do. She'll be an equal opportunity violator.
And what else did you take away from the debate, Sam? Anything about Alicia Mercado or whatever, the beauty queen that Trump supposedly called Miss Piggy, Miss Housekeeping or something? But I went and watched the tape of Donald Trump with Alicia, and she was loving all over him. He was very complimentary. He was making fun of the press being overweight. It was hilarious.
The thing is, who cares what he said when he was
Hillary Clinton
among co-workers and colleagues and other people that were working with him? I don't care if people that are just hanging out make inappropriate jokes to each other. I had somebody tell me a joke that was against Italians the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. For those of you reading my lower third, the last name is DeAngie. People think that.
Did it have anything to do with spaghetti? What's the joke?
No, actually. I could tell the joke, but then I don't know how many people will anger. Not that I care. I just don't know.
Tell the joke.
All right, here we go. So this guy creates a machine, and what the machine does is it does nothing but kill people of color. It makes them vanish. And a member from the KKK shows up and goes, "That's not going to work." He goes, "Yeah, it does. Watch." They bring in an African American. They put him in front of the machine, turn the light on, bam, he disappears. Wow. He goes, yeah, and it also works, also works for Arabs. No, he goes, yeah. Puts the Arab in front of it, turns it on, zot, gone. Well, that's interesting. So the KKK member sends in two Italians to take the machine out and says, I'll buy it. One of them turn it on accident and they both vanish. And he goes, hey, your machine's broken. Those were Italians. He goes, yep, after every two niggers, we need to grease the machine. Now, I'm Italian.
Little delay on that, but...
I'm Italian. You know what? I laughed my ass off. Do I hate black people, Arabs, or my fellow Italians? No. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. And if somebody makes a joke like that, then they're immediately labeled as a racist or a sexist. You know what? I still have eye makeup on from last night's Halloween show. Regular viewers know what happens to me after concerts all the time. Why? Because grease tends to stick to the skin of people who are Italian. And I said it, and I deal with it.
Yeah, you're oily, right?
I'm actually probably more Sicilian than Italian, but I'm pretty sure we're greasy. I think so.
Yeah, that's olive oil. But it's funny that you brought up the Arab getting put into the machine there. Do you know that the White House is putting forward a proposal to add a new racial category for people from the Middle East and North Africa under what would be the biggest realignment of federal racial definitions in decades? If approved, the new designation could appear on census forms in 2020 and could have far-reaching implications for racial identity, anti-discrimination laws, and health research. Under current law, Sam, people from the Middle East are considered white. They're considered white. The legacy of century-old court rulings in which Syrian Americans argued that they should not be considered Asian because that designation would deny them citizenship under the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act. But scholars and community leaders say more and more people with their roots in the Middle East find themselves caught between white, black, and Asian classifications that don't fully reflect their identities. What it does is it helps these communities feel less invisible, said Helen Samhan of the Arab American Institute, which has been advocating the change for more than 30 years. It's a good step, a positive step. So on Friday, Sam, the White House Office of Management and Budget advanced the proposal with a notice in the Federal Register seeking comments on whether to add Middle Eastern and North African as separate racial or ethnic category, which groups would be included and what it should be called. Now, Sam, how do you feel about that? Doesn't that further divide us?
That is absolutely the problem with the thinking on what is largely the left. The problem is that we're supposed to act as though we have no differences at all, and yet we're supposed to find the exact way to call out our differences. LBGKYTAEIO and sometimes U community.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can do to go ahead and divide us, to keep us knowing what differences we are, and yet they'll stand up there and make calls for unity. You'll get offended by the joke I told earlier, but then try to find the exact way to address the Arab or the Italian. Did you call a Sicilian an Italian? Oh my, mind rot. And it's the kind of thing a society worries about when they're not worrying about the things that they should be.
Look, haven't on the census forms they want to now know if you're a Middle Eastern or North African? Look, we've had a box that says other for like 100 years. There's like Caucasian, Negroid, Mongoloid.
And then you have to make sure you pick the right description. Oh, you can't say Oriental, you have to say Asian. That's like saying you can't say pop, you have to say soda. It makes no damn sense.
Don't call it pot, it's marijuana.
Yes. I don't care if you're Oriental, I don't care if you're Asian. I probably think you're pretty. At least if you're female.
Oriental is just a funny word. It applies to you can apply it to rugs, but not people.
Well, yeah, but you could have an Asian rug. That doesn't make any damn sense. It makes
Nigga
no
is
sense
not
to
a
me at all.
race. So the Negroid genesis genome. Look, we all come from Africa, anyways. What's up with Lucy? Anyone that's ever studied knows Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The first human bones. I mean, it all goes back to like Africa.
And I'm sure there's somebody listening that would correct you and say, you don't know the exact country in Africa. Because that's the kind of nitpicking they really are. That's what I mean. Divide.
Continent of Africa, okay? Whenever Lucy was there, it wasn't called anything.
That is true. That is very true. But then again, she may have called it, oh.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds archaeology. Lucy.
Do you like his ballad?
The Australopithecus. Lucy is the common name of AL288-1. Several hundred pieces of bone fossils representing 40% of the skeleton of a female of the hominin species in Ethiopia. There, Ethiopia was found. Okay, there's your answer, Sam. Ethiopia. Thank you.
I was just looking for the applause. Good job, Felix. Mine's
I thought you could. I thought you guys were able to see that. There's some bone fragments of Lucy right there. Yeah. Lucy became famous worldwide, and the story of her discovery and reconstruction was published in a book by Johannesson. In 2007, the fossil assembly and associated artifacts were exhibited publicly. Wow, I wish you could have seen that. But I heard about this story a long time ago.
Yeah, she was quite a looker.
Yeah, you can imagine she had like a nice big butt. Oh, there you go, Sam. There she is walking.
Now, wait a minute. Yeah, they added a lot more bones, didn't they? They recreate. I see. They recreated.
Yeah, you can see the metal fills in where they didn't have it.
Gotcha. Yeah, they know what she was. I see what they did. That's cool.
Pretty impressive, though. I mean, archaeology is pretty sweet.
Excellent job there.
And last week, Will Farrar, our special guest, and myself and Ann, we were talking a little bit about. I brought up non-invasive archaeology and non-invasive underground scanners and sonars to find out like what's beneath our feet, and also I think robotics definitely and the science of that needs to take us to outer space, but I think at the same crap, Sam.
Yeah, that sucked, didn't it?
Are we still a go? Oh, it says we're live, but are we?
In case you're wondering what's going on, this has all been Google. Lord knows D-Lake and I are excellent at making mistakes. We'll probably make a mistake before the end of this sentence.
If I clicked the wrong button, maybe it was me, but I don't think I did.
No, this is good. Google has been doing this ever since they changed us from the original Hangout home. So anyway, D-Lake, you were making an excellent point there. Go ahead and restate that.
Thank you. I totally lost where I was, my focus, Sam. I apologize. Well, what was I just talking about?
The way we need to look under our feet instead of over our heads.
Exactly. And underground robotic technology, but also scanner, sonar. There's all kinds of non-invasive techniques. I mean, even archaeologists are using this see what's beneath our feet without without all the digging and all the like thousands of people it takes to get there.
And it would be interesting to see exactly what it is. Like, it makes you wonder what happened to the rest of her bones.
Right. I mean, they could have dissolved before we had the opportunity to preserve, perhaps something like that. Is this? I don't know if we're still broadcasting live, Sam. It says we're live, but I don't have any of my my administrative interface. I'm just joined in as like I'm someone else now.
Well, I guess we're live. It might be another show. So welcome back, or welcome again.
Sam, why don't we just do a little entertainment real quick and call it a show today?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my news from the science front first. I got this from phys.org. Sam Science. New twist in SpaceX rocket blast probe. Twisty here. Let me go ahead and get off that logo now that I know we're back and I'm not just hitting buttons, and go to the screen share.
Sam Science. It's time for science. It's the science. It's Sam Science.
You gotta love the music. Like the best. I wait for it. The mysterious explosion of a SpaceX rocket last month took an odd turn. I thought it was a twist, with the cordial encounter between staff of Elon Musk's firm and fierce rival United Launch Alliance, the Washington Post reported. No one was hurt in the September 1st blast, which I do believe we mentioned that day, which came as unmanned Falcon 9 rocket was being fueled ahead of a standard pre-launch test in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Musk is rushing to revolutionize the launch industry by making rocket components reusable. And the accident, it's the second of its kind since SpaceX was founded in 2002. Not so bad considering it's 2016. They're doing better than the Germans and Americans did. And the Russians, for that matter. Came just over a year after the Falcon 9 rocket failed after liftoff in July 28, 2015, destroying a Dragon cargo capsule bound for the International Space Station. Think about that, friends. Think about how many rockets and devices were destroyed on the launch pad. We've come so far, and the shoulders of giants, as it were, that is the knowledge base that we're building on, is so strong that we've only lost 2 of these on an independent space company since 2002. That's pretty impressive. Before that, SpaceX had logged 18 successful launches on the Falcon 9, including 6 12-planned supply missions to the ISS, carried out in part by a $1.6 billion contract with NASA. So SpaceX has been going to space, has been on the International Space Station, and is part of the